For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise. And you surely feel naughty when you swallow our coffee. If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some more, rest assured. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough of.
It's time for The Scribble, your weekly fix of celebrity chats, bizarre stories in the news, and basic random chatter with best-selling author and syndicated radio host Jeremy Bradley. Make sure your seat is in the upright and locked position and your barf bag is securely in place. Here's Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. Jeremy Bradley here. This is The Scribble, and thanks for tuning in at thescribbleshow.com and on SoundCloud and iTunes. So I gotta say, this is the one time that introduction about the barf bag or whatever that Larson says every week that, I've heard for the past 2.5 years doing this podcast. Well, it's actually accurate, because today we're taking you to Lafayette, Louisiana. And here's how we're doing that in the next 30 minutes. Now, on our syndicated radio shows, Top of the Charts and The Open Road, we were broadcasting live from the area just earlier this month. And so, if you missed the radio show, which I know a lot of you do, we have now the segments from that show live on the ground in Lafayette. We have them on the podcast for you today. So it's really cool. Now, what you're going to hear is me saying that we're live, and then we're going to go and do this, and we'll be right back. Now, you have to remember that on the radio, there's a bit of a time... we do the segment and then there's about 15-20 minutes of music, so time actually does pass. You're only going to hear them with about 30-second breaks in between, but this is really cool because we can compile it all into a 30-minute podcast. So check out the highlights at lft.jbonair.com, lft.jbonair.com. You're going to hear that referenced a lot in all of these segments. And my thanks to all of our friends at Lafayette Travel, because we always do this with the help of tourism boards, and they bring us out there and plan great trips and pay for everything. But it's always a great time, and we're always so welcomed, and I do appreciate everything that they do for us. And so it's just great. It's really incredible to see so many different areas of North America. Now, we also, it still hasn't aired yet, but last September we actually taped travel programming in China, which we've still we're working on it. We're trying to figure out how to. You know what? I'll tell you that story another day. Let's keep it happy, though. We're going to talk about Louisiana today here on the podcast, and we're going to get into it right after this here on The Scribble.
Who are the Kardashians feuding with now? What did that little thug Justin Bieber do this time? Who's getting hitched? And who's headed for Splitsville? Hear the latest celebrity news and gossip every day on Entertainment Wrap-Up. The good, the bad, the ugly, but mostly the ridiculously hilarious. It's all recapped in this daily segment at entertainmentwrapup.com. Have a laugh at the expense of the rich and famous when they take themselves way too seriously. It's 3 minutes of time-wasting fun at entertainmentwrapup.com. Check out Entertainment Wrap-Up at entertainmentwrapup.com. Brought to you by Speak Free Books.
Jeremy Bradley here once again, live in Lafayette. All the fun we've been having is on our website. It's at lft.jbonair.com. lft.jbonair.com. It's brought to you by shopernie.com. Everybody loves a golden retriever puppy. Ernie and his domestic partner Basil have a greeting card for every occasion. Check out the cutest dogs at shopernie.com. That's shopernie.com. I'm at the Lafayette Science Museum, and I'm here with the museum director, Kevin. Thank you so much for having us here today. I'm ready to get science-y, okay?
My pleasure. Thank you for coming to visit us. Glad to have you here.
Okay, well, you know what? Let's sum this up, because, science is kind of everything now, especially with technology. That's a huge deal, and I know you've got a really cool virtual reality exhibit. Tell me about that. What are we going to experience?
Well, fantastic, yes. And by the way, this is one of the only virtual reality labs labs in a museum in the world. So we had to go through a lot to do research and development to get it. But what you experience is we have 8 different stations. We have 4 seated areas and 4 rooms. And so the seated areas are usually pretty fast moving and a lot of action. So it's best to be seated. But all of them right now are science based. So you can go underwater with whales, or you can fly an aeroplane, or you can learn something about physics, go inside of the human body. There's a number of different experiences you can do, and those change about every 6 months. We swap those out for new content.
Just as we're walking through here, I see there's a grandma. She's with her grandkids, and she's sitting down and looking. It looks like she's looking around town. Is what, she's kind of seeing the buildings. She's walking, it looks like. That's what she's doing?
Yes, that's exactly right. And the beauty of it is that, senior citizens, octogenarians, as well as kids coming in, everybody benefits from it, because I think everyone is in awe of the realism and the depth of it, and the perception of being in a space and feeling like you're somewhere else. And yes, it really is stunning.
Okay, we're going to check it out. And then I also hear that rumor has it you have some reptiles here. We're going to confirm or deny that in the next segment, okay?
Fantastic.
All right. Again, it's at lft.jbonair.com. The fun in Lafayette is brought to you by shopernie.com here at the Science Museum.
Ever had something to get off your chest but never had the balls to say it? That's a load of crap. Speak Free with JB.com is exactly what you've been waiting for. Your chance to tell it like it is and not care what anybody else thinks. Have your say on issues of the day. Join newspaper and radio columnist Jeremy Bradley as he tells it like it is. Hundreds of thousands of people have stopped by, including some well-known celebrities who have had a chat with JB and speak candidly about what's really going on in the world. You can join them too. Have a rant or a rave. Be brave and head on over to www.speakfreewithjb.com now.
Jeremy Bradley here, back live from Lafayette. No virtual reality here. I really am here, and it's brought to you by shopernie.com. Everybody loves a golden retriever puppy. Ernie and his dogmastic partner Basil have a greeting card for every occasion. Check out the cutest dogs at shopernie.com. That's shopernie.com. While you're surfing, check out the fun at lft.jbonair.com at the Lafayette Science Museum. Kevin, you know what? The virtual reality, awesome, and then you took me upstairs in the last segment. I mentioned you have some reptile friends here. Lots of great partnerships that you have with different people in the community, right?
That's right. We have a ton of great partnerships, and that's what makes the museum special, is that when you come into it, rather than trying to model our museum off of another museum or copy and paste, we are a reflection of our community. When you say Lafayette Science Museum, it is a reflection of the science community here in our fair city.
You got some living creatures here that I did get to hold. Some alligators, I think, Graham.
That's right. And that was brought to us in part with the Endangered Species Day that took place Saturday. So we had some great friends come in and bring some little critters in. Now, our friends that stay here on a regular basis are of the insect variety, and we try to bring in some of the rarest and weirdest and creepiest and crawliest insects there are. So they're here all the time.
So it's constantly changing, though. Maybe could you give us a sneak peek of what's going to be here in the next 6 months, year? I know you've got some maybe expansion plans.
That's exactly right. So we were just talking about the insects. Well, that's one of the favorite things for adults and kids alike, because generally we'll step out and take a few of them out and let them pet them if they choose. By the way, we also find that girls pet the bugs a lot more often than the boys do. Just saying. And so we are going to expand on that, because we really feel like that's something that's a learning opportunity for kids, and perhaps a chance to get into entomology later on in life.
Okay, so people want to follow along the progress. It's probably on your website then, right?
Absolutely. There's a bunch of different ways to follow us. You can follow us on our brand new website at www.LafayetteScienceMuseum.com. You can also follow us on Facebook at LafayetteScienceMuseum.com or on Twitter.
I will link everybody through again. So the highlights of all the fun stuff going on, me, holding an alligator and doing virtual reality, is at lft.jbonair.com. Well, Kevin, I say let's go and play.
Fantastic. There's a bunch to do.
Lots to do and lots to learn. Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you so much.
It's never too early to start thinking about your next holiday. Have you checked out Mexico recently? From tequila tasting, swimming with horses, to ziplining through the jungle and watching whales and dolphins in their natural habitat, Puerto Vallarta has it all. Visit mexico.jbonair.com to see all the fun PV has to offer. That's at mexico.jbonair.com for hundreds of photos, interviews, and videos from around the tourist hotspot. Check out mexico.jbonair.com for all the fun. That's mexico.jbonair.com.
Jeremy Bradley here, once again, experiencing everything that Louisiana has to offer, and you can check out the highlights at lft.jbonair.com, lft.jbonair.com, and it's brought to you by shopernie.com. You know, everybody loves a golden retriever puppy. Ernie and his dog-domestic partner, Basil, have a greeting card for every occasion. Check out the cutest dogs at shopernie.com. That's shopernie.com. And, we do love our animals, and we're going to take on a swamp tour right now. I'm at McGee's Swamp Tour. John is joining us here. We're about to head on to the water. John, thanks for having us here. Appreciate it.
Indeed. Glad to have you here this afternoon in the great Atchafalaya Basin.
Tell me what we're going to experience. We're just about to head from the shore. What are we going to experience?
First off, you're going to experience a great deal of excitement jumping upon one of our boats here and being brought into the mist, into the middle of the swamp where things get a little bit more thick than what we'd say out here on the open water.
Now, we're going to get, I think, up close with gators. Being from Canada, I haven't really been up close to one. Dangerous, I would imagine. So, but we're going to see them at a distance. But it seems like they come to the boat, you were saying earlier.
Absolutely. You have to remember that the North American freshwater alligator is somewhat more passive than actually their cousin, the crocodile. So naturally, like any other wild animal that you may encounter in the wild or out here in the swamp especially, you give them their way, and most of the time these animals will feel the same way, and unless they are provoked or something of this nature, you're in good shape.
I was going to ask then, with the noise that the boat makes and the movement in the water, are they scared of us, or do they sort of see us coming? And put yourself in their body for a moment. What are they thinking?
Well, actually, they've been here for millions of years. The alligator has, and he has seen man evolve, if you will. Mm. So they know at this point that they are the top predator in the swamp. I don't believe that they actually have fear instilled in them. However, again, when the man is out here messing around in the swamp, again, if you stay on your toes, the alligators live side by side with us here.
Okay, well, let's go and visit some of them. Again, we're gonna head out into the water. I'll join you again in about 15 minutes. The highlights at lft.jbonair.com. Everything from Louisiana.
Isn't it crazy that you wait for payday, but before you know it, you're strapped for cash again? It's time to stop blowing your money and become a smart spender with the book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com. Learn simple ways to cut costs at home every day and during special times of the year. Don't go broke at Christmas. Don't remortgage the house for a fancy vacation. The book is filled with tips to save you money throughout the year. Check out the best-selling book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com or on Amazon and iTunes.
Jeremy Bradley here once again, joining you from the Louisiana area and all the fun we're having in Lafayette at lft.jbonair.com, lft.jbonair.com, and it's brought to you by our friends at shopernie.com. Everybody loves a golden retriever puppy. Ernie and his dog-domestic partner, Basil, have a greeting card for every occasion. Check out the cutest dogs at shopernie.com. That's shopernie.com. And back out here on the water with John at McGee's Swamp Tours. We're going to wrestle some gators, right? No, we're not, no.
No, actually, this will be a hands-off kind of thing. Really. But we will have the opportunity here to encounter some at a close proximity to the boat. Of course, these alligators now recognize these boats. We're not there to harm them. Yeah. So they come out to visit us, get their pictures taken, if you will.
And get some food, too.
Absolutely. Every once in a while, performing as they do, right, we have to give them a small treat.
Now, you were telling me during the break you've been doing this for 30 years, and if I'm not mistaken, you actually kind of pet them, too, sometimes if they come out of the water when you give them
Absolutely. It's not recommended for anyone to come out here, of course, and try to pet an alligator. The guys that we have here at McGee's Swamp Tours Many of them have been doing this for many, many years, have been dealing with the same alligators, if you will, for many years. So, in that being said, they're still really cautious.
Right. Yeah.
However, they can tell how this alligator is acting and what they can do with their hands with the alligator. But many of them will come there, especially the older ones. Again, they're not scared of you.
Right.
And they will allow you to pet them, so to speak, on the back of the head.
Well, you guys are the experts, and you can certainly read their body language and how they're reacting. But even just like clapping, I mean, they know your signals of how to come and see you.
Absolutely. It's my belief after doing this many years that actually this alligator, to me, recognizes one's voice.
Okay.
Oftentimes, especially during our tours, many of the people are amazed at just how we will call them verbally, and they will come a-running, if you will.
That's exactly what happened. 30 years you've been doing this. Show me your hands. I got to see. He's got 10 fingers. He's got 10 fingers, everybody. I can tell you that.
They're all there.
So if people want to check out more information about McGee's Swamp Tours, they can go to your website.
Absolutely. You can go to McGee's Swamp Tours and Adventures, www, of course, McGee'sSwampToursAdventures.com, as well as on Facebook, McGee's Swamp Tours. Make sure and check us out there. Questions are asked just as soon as they come in fact, to take care of that type business.
And we've got the pictures from our swamp tour at lft.jbonair.com. You know, we were just talking, we've got to wrap this up, but, you know, the ecosystem here we were mentioning during the break is just unmatched. When you think about how development is taking over and concrete is the new grass, this is so refreshing to experience this.
Absolutely. You have to keep in mind, you know, I always say that numbers roll off of the tongue extremely easy. But when you're talking of an area that's 20 to 25 miles wide and 150 miles plus, covering 1.4 million acres, now you're talking about a vast piece of property, and most of it is like you've seen today, and you shall see on your video. Mm-hmm. This is incredibly amazing here, and you will notice this throughout the greater Chaffalaa Basin.
Yeah, so if you're from a big city or a big center with the hustle and bustle and you want to experience nature, this is definitely the place to do it. Again, the highlights are on our website, lft.jbonair.com. Well, John, thanks so much. This has been incredible, and let's go enjoy nature, shall we?
Absolutely. And again, many times we overlook the places in our backyard. This is one of them.
And you guys respect it, and that's what's great, too.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks, John. We're going to get back to the music now here on the show.
Ever had something to get off your chest but never had the balls to say it? That's a load of crap. Speak Free with JB.com is exactly what you've been waiting for. Your chance to tell it like it is and not care what anybody else thinks. Have your say on issues of the day. Join newspaper and radio columnist Jeremy Bradley as he tells it like it is. Hundreds of thousands of people have stopped by, including some well-known celebrities who have had a chat with JB and speak candidly about what's really going on in the world. You can join them too. Have a rant or a rave. Be brave and head on over to www.speakfreewithjb.com now.
Jeremy Bradley here, once again live experiencing everything that Louisiana has to offer. And, you know, I'm a big animal lover, so we're at the zoo. And all of our adventures are brought to you by ShopErnie.com. And, you know, everybody loves a golden retriever puppy. Ernie and his dog-mestic partner, Basil, you get that? Dog-mestic partner, Basil, have a greeting card for every occasion. Check out the cutest dogs at ShopErnie.com. That's ShopErnie.com. Now, while you're web surfing, you can check out all of the highlights from our adventure here. It's lft.jbonair.com. lft.jbonair.com. And, you know, I love animals, so I've got to go to Louisiana. That's where I am. I think I said that right. I'm with George, who, believe it or not, owns a zoo, everybody. George owns the zoo. First of all, I've got to ask you, how do you buy a zoo? Why do you buy a zoo?
Can't really say specifically why you buy a zoo, but in my case, I was a banker for 21 years, had a great job, loved it, but I was stuck inside all the time, and this opportunity came up. The zoo was about 10 years old when I bought it. I've been having it now for 16 years, and it gave me an opportunity to do a lot of things I've always wanted to do. Be a business owner. It has so many different venues that I can work with at the zoo. It would be from buying merchandise at my gift shop to buying animals, working with the animals, doing landscaping, just anything that I would choose to do, I'm able to do it over here.
So it's not so much that you're just an animal lover, period. Of course, there's a business side of things and creativity, because from what I understand, you actually make a lot of the things you have on display here. I'm looking forward to seeing that. So what sort of regulation, can anybody buy a zoo? How does it work? Like, what do you...
It's you have to be approved to buy it. First of all, you have to have the funding available. So I was fortunate to have a local bank help me with purchasing it. But there's quite a bit of information that's going to be required to be. You have to have several permits and licenses, USDA, Wildlife and Fisheries, other federal agencies, to have the different type of exotic animals. You can't just say, I want to get a tiger and a monkey and, get approved for it. You have to be an exhibitor, or you have to be doing some type of research. It just depends on the situation.
Yeah, it's very legitimate here because, we see those stories of other countries where it's a quote-unquote zoo, but it's really kind of not, right? It's just there for entertainment. So we're going to go through on a tour. I want to know, what am I going to see here, and what is your favorite animal or creature here at the zoo?
Well, I have some treats up my sleeve for you.
Oh, God, I love that, right? Okay, all right, I'll be surprised. Go ahead.
I'm going to let you get up front and close with our lions, and then we'll go to something.
No, I don't think you're going to, but all right, go ahead.
Well, then we'll go to the parakeets. That might suit you better.
Ease into it.
Right. We'll take a look at some of our large cats, our leopards. We have a white tiger. We have a regular tiger. It's a golden Bengal that we have. A lot of primates. I'll let you get up and close and personal with them, and show you around the back of the zoo where we prepare all the diets, where the zookeepers work. And we also have what you call a zoo live show. We have animals that are trained. It's an educational, entertaining type venue, and I think you'll really enjoy that.
Okay, well, looking forward to it. As we head back into the music here on the show, I'm going to check with my people to make sure my insurance is up to date and paid for before we go and do that. Again, lft.jbonair.com. George, let's go take a look at the fun here, okay?
Very good. Thank you.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up the Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter at The Scribble Show and at thescribbleshow.com.
Jeremy Bradley here once again reporting from Louisiana. And I got to tell you, incredible animals here. We're going to put those highlights on our website, lft.jbonair.com. lft.jbonair.com, and it's brought to you by shopernie.com. We're animal lovers here. Everybody appreciates a golden retriever puppy, and Ernie and his dog-domestic partner, Basil, have a greeting card for every occasion. Check out the cutest dogs at shopernie.com. That's shopernie.com. I've got a bottle of milk in my hand. I would not think a large animal that I'm facing would want a bottle of milk from a human being, but George at Zoocian is telling me that looking forward to it, right? First of all, introduce this creature to us that we're going to see on our website.
All right, this is Philae. Philae is a golden Bengal tiger. Philae is about 4 years old, but we have continued to give her bottles as a treat from time to time. And we do that, it's something that we can do to make her know that we're not, going to harm her in any way. Mm-hmm. But it keeps us from having to tranquilize an animal or sedate an animal for any type of medical procedures, because she gets comfortable with us with the bottle. So if we give her a bottle, she's going to put her paws up. So if we have to give her an injection, it's nice and easy. Or if we have to draw blood, nice and easy. And it's something that we try to do with a lot of our animals so we don't stress them out. And that's the most important thing. We don't want our animals to be stressed.
I'm looking at these claws or nails. These are not something you can just go to your pet store and get little nail clippers for. Those are. I'm gonna pay attention. Somebody give me a signal if I'm getting too close here with the bottle. But as we were walking here, this is incredible. You were talking to animals and they're coming towards you, and some of them talking back to you too.
That's right. I'm here 24/7, and I love the animals in my collection. I don't want them to associate me with doing any type of harm to them. So if we have a vet that comes that needs to do a procedure, I'll make sure I'm not around, because the animals will remember that. So I make it a point to give the animals treats when I can. And it's stuff that, They're not going to get it in their regular diet, so they associate me with a good time. So they know me, I know them. I can call them from the back of an exhibit. They'll come up to the front just to see what's going on.
You said entertainment. There's lots of educational components here as well, so people can get up close, but also learn about what you have here with some of those live demonstrations and shows.
Correct. We have a Zoo Live facility where we have probably about 20 animals that are trained to go on stage. It's an educational but very entertaining venue that we have. So a lot of the school field trips that will come here, we'll bring out 4 or 5 animals, give them a little history on them, if they're endangered, not endangered, why they're good for the environment, and just to let people know that these animals that we have around have a purpose.
And so if people wanted to come and check out and experience... I was going to ask you, what's one animal then that you would love to have here but you just haven't had yet?
I would love to have an elephant, but I don't think that's going to happen. It's they're very hard to maintain.
A little high maintenance is what it is?
Very high maintenance. So, but that's on my wish list. Maybe one day.
Okay, so the website where people can check out more information is...
www.zoosiana.com.
All right, and we're going to link through on our website, which again is lft.jbonair.com. George, I know you said that you were going to wrestle an alligator, right? That's what we're going to do now?
Yeah, I'm going to let you do it. I'm going to show you. I'll tell you what to do. You have a good time.
All right, well, thanks for having us here. It's been incredible.
Good, thank you, and you have a great day.
Oh, we don't have a break there. All right, Jeremy Bradley here, back on the Scribble. All right, now I am talking to you live here on the Scribble, everybody. I gotta tell you, listening to that zoo segment again, that was wild. Now, we get to do a lot of sort of behind-the-scenes stuff. We get a little bit of exclusive access to things sometimes. I gotta tell you, that was incredible to go to the zoo, and I truly did not know what George, the owner, had planned for us that morning when we got there. I really did not know. And I'm a huge animal lover, so I was down for anything. I was game for it all. And when we got there, he was carrying a pail, and then he asked for 2 syringes full of blood. And I was like, oh, okay. And he went and he fed some tigers, I think it was. And then we went and we did the parakeet thing, and we hold out these sticks of birdseed, and they come flying at us. Just remember the woman on Home Alone? The one with all the birds around her? Well, it wasn't quite like that, but it was similar anyway. And, so we go into this bird corral, and here they all are, flying around and landing on your arms and your hands, and it was pretty wild. And I gotta say, the giraffe coming in for a closer look. If you haven't seen the pictures yet, again, lft.jbonair.com. The giraffe coming in there to take a look at our cameras was pretty wild. And then feeding the bottle of milk to a lion, a tiger. It was just incredible to me that, you can put your hand up against the chain link fence, and here's this thing like gently taking a baby bottle from you. Now, again, you do that at another zoo, you jump the bar, you're going to get arrested or eaten or something like that. But I have to say, at Louisiana in Lafayette, it was incredible to me. It really was. So again, I mentioned at the top of the show, I'm always very grateful when we get these opportunities. And again, my thanks to everybody at Lafayette Travel, Kelly and Ben and the team there, and just everybody else who made it happen. Because it certainly, again, you want to look at it as a work trip, or, well, I guess people want to look at it as a vacation. For me, it's not. It's a work trip. And, it's just amazing that there's so many different really cool places. What I find fascinating when we do these trips is that these are places that you've heard the name of, and maybe you think you know about them, or you know what you're going to expect there. But then it's kind of like, wow, I was actually really ignorant because I didn't know a lot of the stuff about this town. And, you wouldn't, right? Unless you have lived there or researched or spent a lot of time, you might just know the things that you hear about on the news or the reputation that it might have, which isn't necessarily true, right? So I didn't know what to expect there, and I had a really great time. And I really do, again, appreciate everybody's involvement on making it happen. Once again, lft.jbonair.com, lft.jbonair.com for all the highlights from Lafayette, Louisiana. Wow, it's almost end of June already. I don't even know. Do we have celebrities coming on the show next week? I'm totally out of the loop. We just did this travel show, like I said, a week or two ago, and my head is spinning sometimes when I come home from doing this. So I'll get my bearings about me, and I will talk to you same time, same place next week here on The Scribble. Feel free to give me a shout anytime. It's always awesome hearing from you. My email address is live@jbonair.com, live@jbonair.com. And again, you can subscribe on SoundCloud and iTunes. And yeah, I really enjoy hearing from you. So keep in touch. KIT. Keep in touch. That's it. We're out of time, right? There was something else that I was going to say, and I totally lost it. I don't remember. Oh, I'm on Twitter as well, @Jeremy D. Bradley. That's what it is, @Jeremy D. Bradley. And you also heard Larson. And the reason why, I just saw it blinked that I got a tweet. And Larson was telling you about our Scribble handle is @The Scribble Show. My name is Jeremy Bradley. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Want more Scribble? Check out thescribbleshow.com for past shows, celebrity interviews, cheapskate tips, and more. That's at thescribbleshow.com and on Twitter @thescribbleshow. The Scribble is a speak-free media presentation.
If you want some real heat